Okay, so part 3, I'm going to talk about cards here. So I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, so the first card you want to be picking here is your Deadeye card. This is what I like about the game. It gives you a lot of different styles of play, so how you want to play. There's generally a style for it and a card to suit you. So I'm generally a slow and steady player. Maybe it's something to do with my age, being older, but that's kind of like how I play. I'm a tank. I can take a lot of shots, and so I'm not sort of running about with the sticks all the time. Like shooting somebody, like, you know, painted black up close, doing all sorts of weird spinny tricks and jumping all over the place, like somebody maybe in painted black would be. Another card I like to use in a 7v7, if you're doing range 7v7, is Focus Fire. Focus Fire is very good, because if you're running it, and say you're doing a 30-minute range 7v7, the guy running Focus Fire should probably be at the back being a sniper, and get him to run it for the full 30 minutes. So literally they take a tonic. Once that tonic runs out, you're taking another tonic, and you're constantly in Deadeye, so your whole team then benefits from the extra firepower the Focus Fire does for you. Painted Black is a favourite of all players, but I think new players struggle with this card a wee bit to get it working. What you have to do is, whenever you're aiming, because it's different from the other cards, how you use it, so you're not always in, say, your Deadeye ability all the time, so you're only using it for a very, very short period of time, just to paint the target and where about on that target you want to paint. So it's obviously going to be a headshot, and you want to be getting headshots all the time with Painted Black. What most players do when they're starting out is they put it on and they end up painting body shots, so they just auto aim in on you and they're just painting body shots, where you actually want to auto aim in on somebody, move it up to their head, then activate your Deadeye so it paints on the head and shoot, and then just rinse and repeat until you get the kill. Another card which I thought might be good for 7v7, but it's actually probably not, would be quite an inspiration. I did for a while think this might be good in 7v7s, arranged matches. It regenerates health for your whole team. But if you're listening to part 2 and your whole team is taking the tonics properly, there's no real reason for that. Slippery Bastard, probably my most disliked card. I respect players that use it to snipe, because it throws the auto aim off, and you have to make sure you're hitting the targets, you know, every time. So if somebody's using it and they're sniping, yeah, good. But these people that just run up by you really close with these shotguns with the incendiary rounds, you know, it's just a complete noob tactic which takes zero skill. So we'll go back to what I probably know best, and can say something on would be slow and steady. So while this is activated, you can take a lot more damage, and loading that in with other cards, you can take a hell of a lot more damage. I mean, you can be into this soul tank mode, some people even call it God mode, by filling up your other cards. I don't actually do that. I think there's 2 cards you need to be a good sturdy tank, and I'll take you through them. When you're activating slow and steady, make sure you have it activated well in advance of being in front of your opponent, because there is a second delay or so of once you go into Deadeye and somebody can shoot you, and they actually, if they get a headshot, you're dead, you know, so it actually does take a wee second to actually kick in. So that's all I want to say on Deadeye cards. So my next card for my build is Fool Me Once, and this is a card I don't think is being used properly, but it is a very deadly card. So you take much less damage for each consecutive time you're shot. This effect ends if you're not shot for 10 seconds. That's the important thing. Okay, so I could be shot, okay, and if I get shot with that card on, if I can go in the cover, and remember now there's a 3-second delay now in tonics, so if I can use that 3 seconds to get into cover, to take a tonic, to come back out, I wouldn't actually mind being shot again, and trying to at least get shot once every 10 seconds to keep that card active, because that card just makes me stronger and it makes me the tank that I want to be. Just keeping an eye on my health, and it's very, very hard to do because I'm a sniper and I'm scoped in all the time, so I have to go and check my health, so I'm in and out of the scope, just keeping an eye on it. Whenever my health gets down to half, I'm back into cover, taking a miracle tonic or a health tonic, coming back out and going at it again. And if I can keep that card active and just try and get hit minimal times, you don't want to be getting hit too much because you will die. It's not going to save you totally, but there is an act to it, and when you get it right, you'll know it. It's something to practice, of getting into cover, out of cover, and keeping that one active. So the normal tank build, it used to be fill me once, and then you used to have what was it? Yeah, iron lung. Everybody used to use that, iron lung, and they would maybe use strange medicine, and it was just completely overkill, because if you can actually use that fill me once card, you don't need iron lung and you don't need strange medicine. Yes, of course they do back it up, but you're better off having another 2 damage cards to actually get you more damage. And because I'm a sniper, this card is actually perfect for me, right? So while using the scope, I deal more damage. So when I'm sniping, I'm dealing more damage, and while I'm in the scope, I'm taking less damage. But the thing is that it's while I'm scoped, so I want to be in scope as much as I can, so that I can take the damage myself, which sort of adds on to your fill me once, helps you into your tank build. Third card there I have at the minute, winning streak. So this again is something that has to be active, and you have to be very, very aware of it. So if I hit a shot and then I miss my second shot, but then the whole thing starts over again. So you have to be accurate, and whenever you're scoping, and I'll go through this and probably in the next video when I'm aiming weapons, it's more important to be accurate than just willy-nilly rattling off a load of shots. Make sure every shot you land hits and does some damage. You know, make sure it does something, because winning streak will actually accumulate for you. Now, another very, very good card that is pretty good for this build, Landon's Patience. If you feel that you can't hit consecutive shots, maybe Landon's Patience is better for you, but again, you need to land that shot every 15 seconds, so it's waiting every 15 seconds between shots significantly increases your damage. So if you wait 15 seconds and you land your shot, you know, that's all well and good, that's when it does, but if you miss that shot, well then you're going to have to wait another 15 seconds. So the emphasis is here on, for your scope weapons, definitely hitting your shots every time. The Gunslinger's Choice. This is good for dual weapons. Anybody using them? I do use dual weapons, but because I'm a sniper, I like to keep people at distance. I fight at distance, up close. I don't want them getting up that close to me. There is, like, I use my dual shotties, especially for people running around me in a slippery, but I have the Navy revolvers as well. I think they're quite powerful wee guns, like, you know, but I just don't fight enough to warrant using that card all the time. But it is a good card, and I see a lot of people using it and having great success with it. Just going to go through a few other cards here which are important at the moment. Yeah, the hack card. This is especially well liked among painted black players. Painted black players will always use this, not always, but they will use it quite a lot. And this is why you see so many people in posse outfits, because when you spawn back after you're dead, you get a hat. So this will block any headshot while you have a hat. Now it'll only work from the head up. Okay, so if you shoot somebody say in the face, it's not going to save you, but 50% of headshots it's going to block. And that's why it seems to work very, very well with painted black players. As I say, there's not an awful lot to say about more about cards. Just my best tip to you is to really look at the card and look at your own play style. You know, there's some cards there, I haven't got them all unlocked, like, you know, but there's some of them I just wouldn't unlock, you know. Like a Hangman 1, you know, lasso chokes your enemies. I never do that. There's no point in me having that card. I'm not even going to unlock it, you know. Horseman, I don't really fight a lot on horseback, so again, no reason for it, you know. There's a lot of different combinations out there, and you know, try and experiment with your own play style. I think, you know, I'll be going in and bit more. I guess my layout. I'm sort of teaching more my style of fighting with the sniper. I'll probably be starting to do that in the next video, which will be on weapons and aiming your weapons. You know, you'll see how much more important it is, and I'll try and get just landing shots every time to keep that winning streak going. So hope this video helped anyway. See you later, guys.